So today I have the great privilege of talking with James Angus. James works full-time running an amazing organisation called Text Relief. Last year, James experienced a tragic loss of a very close friend, and he's had his own mental wellbeing challenges too. And this has really driven him to provide a service that's been a bit lacking in our area in South Shields, and he really wants to support the community and particularly those who are struggling to reach out for help. And Text Relief is a community interest company that really does support people who are perhaps in a situation where they feel like they need to speak to someone but don't know where to turn. James, welcome to the show. Thanks for giving us your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you involved with Text Relief.
Well, I've always had a few mental issues, bipolar, and Asperger's. So I've always been in the demographic where you're kind of not normal. So
Neurodiverse, we like to say on this show.
Neurodiverse, yeah.
Neurodiverse.
Yep, that's the one. But we just decided to help other people that might be going through similar situations and really give back to the community that's kind of helped me since I was diagnosed about 12, 13 years ago.
And what's life like for you on a daily basis? What sort of things did you struggle with?
I don't know, it's hard. I've struggled with alcohol dependency. When I was younger, drug addiction, homelessness. There's been a lot of trauma, but I've come out on the other side a better person, and I want to use my experiences to help other people to show that it does get better.
It really does, and you can transform your life, can't you? And I do think it does start at that point where you decide that you're gonna reach out for help. Tell us Tell us a little bit more about Text Relief.
Well, it's a 24-hour service. If you search Text Relief on Facebook, there's a rota of volunteers who are there 24/7 to talk to anybody who needs anything. Say you're trapped in the house and you can't get out because of the isolation, or you're in a domestic violence situation and you don't want stuff to show up on your phone bill. Since we work through WhatsApp, it means that everybody can at some time get on the internet to talk, and we can either talk to you, or if it's a serious situation, we can point you in the relevant people who can then help you from there.
So Text Relief provides an absolute lifeline for those people who are in a really dark place, either struggling with mental wellbeing issues, in danger, struggling with drug or alcohol problems, or if they've just got to a point where they've literally just had enough. And they're at that point where they may be considering taking their own life. And I think for many people, when you're in that really dark space, reaching out for help is one of the hardest things that you can do. But texting is so much more easier and accessible for people.
Yeah, we're here for people. It doesn't have to be mental health. It's if somebody's lonely, they've got no family or friends, and they just want to talk to someone, they can text us as well. And they've got a friend at the other side of the phone that just wants to talk to them and make them feel a little bit better.
Oh, I bet you're an absolute wonderful friend to so many people. When did you start this project?
Well, I started last summer, but it didn't really take off until about October.
So October 2019, you launched officially, I would imagine. Is that kind of thing?
Yeah. Well, it started off with my phone number. And I thought nothing's going to come of it. And I put on the internet, we're looking for volunteers, and we've got just over 40 now.
Wow, that's incredible.
And they're all DBS checked. They've all adhered to GDPR guidelines, so there's no possibility of the information going anywhere. And they know that they're speaking to somebody who is completely honest.
It's good to have that honest support and communication. How many calls a day, how many texts a day, how many communications a day would you say you receive?
We get about 15, 20 at the minute, but because we're literally only working in South Shields, we're trying to expand a little bit.
Okay.
A couple of months ago, we were on the Pride of Britain Awards website.
Congratulations.
They featured us there, and we've been nominated this year.
Ooh,
Um,
crossed.
yeah, I don't think we're going to win, but there's a lot of other people out there that's doing better things than we are.
Just being
But, yeah,
nominated, I think, is a real blessing, isn't it? And it just shows the need for the service that you provide and the value that like people like myself and our community have for the service that you do. What got you into doing this? How did it all start?
I can't really remember, to be honest. It was I don't know. A lot of my friends have been going through some hard times. And with me going through hard times, I don't know. I just thought, why not do something that the community doesn't have? And South Shields is lacking in mental health support. It's like my psychiatrist is in Jowo,
Right.
and the doctors can't do anything around here, and there's no like hub. So we've applied for the awards pool from the National Lottery to try and open a mental health hub for people who want to come in, have a cup of tea, have a bit of cake, and everyone like gather and have a chat. Like if you're old and you're lonely and you just want to get out the house, or if you're young and you don't really know what to do, you can pop in, have a bit of tea, have a bit of cake, and just chat with each other and include yourselves rather than excluding yourselves, because I think exclusion is one of the main mental health things.
Massive.
If you put yourself in an exclusion situation and get into thinking that I've got nowhere to go or I've got no friends and stuff like that, that's not going to help you. But if there's a hub where you can go, then mentally that's really going to help other people.
So that's a future development to your project, like a drop-in centre that's going to be open just to provide community, connection, communication and support for people who are feeling alone, lost, isolated. And You're absolutely right. When you're feeling down and lonely, isolation just makes all of those problems just worse, doesn't it? If you're feeling
it does, yeah,
lost and suicidal. Now, I know that you had a really good friend who took his own life last year, and I believe that was part of the reason why you got involved with text relief.
Yeah, well, I started last summer, and like I say, it was just my phone number, and I didn't really think much of it. I thought, oh, there's an idea thrown out. And then we went on and then we went on holiday, and when I came back, my friend had hung himself. So we decided to ramp that up, and we decided just to really, really try for it, and try and make a difference. And we've done Christmas dinners, we've done Easter eggs, we're doing supplies for schools. Next year we're doing safe houses for people who have experienced domestic violence. So that we don't do just one thing. We help every single person that we can.
You're a real beacon in the community, James. I'm delighted to have you on today. So tell us a bit more about the school supplies project, what you're doing.
Well, there's a lot of families we work with who don't always have the money. We work with some families in particular, who are very, very down on the luck. We work with one family particularly. I can't say the names for
Oh no, we don't need to
for
know.
firstly reasons, but
Yeah.
We've helped them quite a bit with clothes, shoes, food, Christmas presents, Christmas dinners, and they have suffered some very significant mental health issues.
Mm.
So we're always on the phone to them and making sure they're all right every day. And there's loads of families we work with, but just want to make sure that every kid's got something that every other kid's going to have. That they're not going to feel like they've been, they're going to go to school with a ripped up rolls like a rucksack, or they're going to have the rulers, the pens, the pencils, the colour pencils, the backpack, like a brand new backpack, everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can't help with school uniforms, but the Salvation Army down the road, they do a uniform exchange.
Oh, great.
So if anybody needs any school uniform items, you can go in and take your old stuff, and they'll give you a new one.
Brilliant.
So they're there to help with the school uniforms. We're really looking at help with school supplies, which people might not be able to afford, or people don't supply anywhere else.
I think I think any or anyone in any place in any community right now, there are so many people who are struggling financially. But if you add to that struggle any kind of mental well-being challenges, where people maybe lose their jobs or are unable to get help, that has such it's like a domino effect, isn't it, in terms of how it affects people's lives. And it can start as you know, I had a mental well-being challenge. I became unwell, physically, mentally, and I couldn't work anymore. And then my income was taken away, and home. And very, very quickly, people can be in a whole different world where they don't know where to go, who to turn to. And I really feel like what you do is you provide a friend that they can reach out to, but text help also connects these people to the services that they need. Why do you think that texting is so helpful?
There's a lot of people with mental health issues who have, say, anxiety. Talking on the phone can cause symptoms of anxiety like sweating palms. My heartbeat might start going faster. They might start feeling sick, things like that. But our like ethos really is put the telly on, curl up on the sofa, send a text, and it's so much more comforting because you don't feel like you're talking to like the Samaritans where you might think somebody's judging you, or you've got to talk to them like over the phone, or counselor where it's face to face. It's literally like talking to an old friend.
Yeah, so you're an old friend. You're just a regular person with a regular life who's potentially been through something similar yourselves, and you're just available via WhatsApp. And one of the things that you were saying to me earlier before we came on air was that anonymity. Keeping that confidential, those text messages, any kind of communication is very, very secure and very, very safe. Why is anonymity so helpful and so important?
It's kind of because somebody who's texting her might not want to know who's on the other side of the phone. It's what they're saying. It doesn't matter if they're a man, a woman, if they're gay, lesbian, if they're old or young, as long as the positivity is there. And sometimes you just want to speak to somebody and not know who they are. Like I think there's some kind of a it's comfortable knowing that that person's never going to speak to you again.
Mm.
But for that moment, they're there for you.
Mm. Now, I know that one of the things that you were saying you're doing over the next few months is you're going to be doing some work helping to provide safe houses. Tell us a little bit more about that project.
Well, we've worked with Women's Refuge before in South Shields.
Fantastic
Um,
organisation.
yeah, but one thing that gets overlooked is people who are in transit flats or who are in safe houses.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not in a refuge, so people kind of overlook that a little bit.
Mm.
So we work with the police anyway. We work with Northumbria Police for LGBT hate crimes. So we're going to donate all our stuff to the police after the lockdown for the next 3 or 4 months. And that's going to be given out to people who are in safe houses, who might not have clothes, who might not have furniture, who needs just a little bit something for them, or if they've got kids, something like that as well.
So these are people who've experienced high levels of domestic violence. They've had to flee their homes for whatever reason, and
Yep.
police have put them into what we call a safe house, a home, a space where they can be safe, but quite often they don't have what we have in our homes. They don't have furniture, they don't have clothes, they don't have food, they don't have things. And so text help raising money, and with the support and collaboration of the police, you're able to provide these people safely those things that they need.
Yeah, that's exactly the reason we're doing it, yeah.
A fantastic thing to do, James. You must just have a massive heart, James. It's just absolutely lovely to speak to you. Obviously, we're in lockdown at the moment. We're in a situation where we're not able to go out. And for many, and me, I'm one of these people. I've been on my own now for quite a few days, and I know it's been quite tough for me, and I generally feel quite jolly and joyful most of the time. If I was having to struggle with mental or emotional well-being, in addition to being alone, isolated and locked down, tough times for people. What would be your advice for anyone who is really struggling with isolation at this time?
I would say stay active. Even if it's just walking around the house, it gets the adrenaline going, it gets your body going. And make sure you're always doing something you love. If it's watching TV or a DVD or playing on a computer or reading a book, sitting in your garden, and always once a day talk to your family and your friends, because they're going through the same thing, and everybody needs to feel like they're wanted at the minute, and I think that's very important.
So get about, move your body, maybe take some exercise or just move around the house, clean something, cook something, do something active. Reach out to friends, family, and if you haven't got friends or family to reach out to, this is where Text Relief really does step up, because they are there for you should you need. You do not need to feel alone. There are people who are available 24 hours a day to give you support that you need. And reach out, have that connection with somebody, and do something you love. Love it, love it, love it. Do something you love. Watch that favourite movie. Listen to your favourite piece of music, and do some self-care, a facial, a hand massage, or just do some breathing. And
Yeah, it all really helps towards just feeling better about yourself.
Brilliant. I mean, I want to support you and I want to help you, because your projects are just vast, helping families, helping teenagers, helping mums and dads, people in isolation, supporting people when they're at a point of crisis in their lives. You really do provide an amazing service. How can my listeners, how can people who are watching us perhaps on YouTube or listening to the podcast, how can people get involved? How can people support what you do?
Well, we're always looking for volunteers. The more people have that can talk to people, the better. We do have to give them a DBS check.
Sure.
And some of the guidelines for like data protection, so to know exactly what they're doing and what they can and can't do.
Keeping that anonymity, that's so important. Yeah.
It's what we're built on, the fact that nobody knows who anybody is, so it's all very anonymous. Donations are always greatly received. We work on donations, so whether that's clothes or food or a £5 with PayPal, it all helps to help us help other people. We don't take a wage out of it. We don't take any money out of it. Everything we get goes straight back into the community. So anything really would be a benefit to us.
Oh, James, you're so fantastic. And I believe that people can donate via GoFundMe and PayPal as well. There's a couple of different options. I'm going to post those links to your PayPal and to the GoFundMe pages on the podcast, on the YouTube video, and also on our Radio Shields Facebook page, so that people can find you and help you. I love that you provide 40 volunteers. Well done. That's incredible. You provide a rota of people who are there 24 hours a day, so that anyone in need, whatever your situation, can reach out, get help, get support, have a friend at the other end of the text message, completely anonymous, completely confidential, real people who've had real life experiences and tough challenges themselves, who are just going to give you that support that you need, with the safety and the confidentiality and the anonymity that is so very, very important. James,
Yep.
I am delighted to have been speaking to you today. Thank you so much for coming on Radio Shields and sharing with us about Text Relief. Do let us know how we can continue to support you, and come back on once you've got your community hub going, and we'd love to support anything that you do, James. Absolutely anything that you do.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Well, thank you for having us and listening to what I've got to say.
It's an absolute pleasure. And well, I wish you a great week and a lovely weekend. And thank you for your time. Thanks.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.